Hi, I'm Jana, and this is a real mom car tour of the 2024 Lexus GX 550. And in this quick tour, I'm going to tell you what I liked and what you need to know. So let's get to it. If you're new here, I'm glad you found me. Hi, I'm Jana, and I give real mom car tours. I am a boy mom, auto enthusiast, and I'm an Aquarius, which means my life and sometimes these tours are a little bit chaotic, but they are fun. So buckle up and let's get back to it. Let's start with this engine. I have been asked if this is a hybrid because the sister vehicle, the Land Cruiser, is on a hybrid powertrain. This is not. Under the hood, we have a 3.4 liter twin turbocharged V6. It's going to make 349 horsepower and generate 479 pound-feet of torque. That's paired with a good. Okay, well, just stay in the shot then, Bumblebee. Oh my God. That's paired with a 10-speed direct shift automatic transmission, and all of that powertrain combined is going to allow this to tow up to 8,000 pounds. But let's hop over to fuel economy because you're going to get 15 mpg in the city, 21 on the highway for a combined 17 mpg. And you have to run premium fuel in this baby. I have been driving it, I don't know, 300 miles, let's just say. I'm in North Carolina, and premium fuel here, I think it's about $3.59 or $3.79. I can't remember what I paid yesterday, but I put right over 13 gallons in for $52. And I struggled opening the fuel tank because on some other Lexus products, there's a button or you just push it and it pops open. But on the new GX, you pull this handle and it will open your fuel door. And in case you forget that you have to run premium, don't worry. There's a note for you. Let's look at this side body. This big boxy design is what makes it so polarizing. I feel like you either love the boxier, more athletic appearance, or you don't. I happen to be a big fan. I love the lines of this car, and I love the way it looks. So on this side body, you're gonna notice a couple things. You have 20-inch twin spoke alloy wheels that are black and bright machined finish. That's a whole mouthful. Not gonna lie, I looked up what machined wheels means because I've said it so many times. Got a little definition here. A machined face wheel has a thin layer of metal removed from the surface using a machine while spinning, so it creates a smooth and shiny consistent metal finish that cannot be achieved with regular spray painted wheels. These are dirty, but there's a close-up look of your 20-inch. On higher trim levels, I am pretty sure you can get a larger wheel. You have your more truck-like wheel wells, the openings that are more squared off. You have stationary running boards on this Premium Plus trim level, which I use to get in and out because it's just that high up that I need it. On higher trim levels, you will get automatic running boards. So when you don't need them, they'll fold away. Your side view mirrors have your turn signal. These are big and boxy, very similar to Land Cruiser. There's a button in here, power folding. You have your turn signal indicator here. They are auto dimming, and they have your blind spot monitor right in here. Let's go around to the front so that you can see the headlamps. You have your LED headlamps, LED fogs, LEDs all the way around, as you would probably expect from Lexus, and the Lexus spindle grille, which is really polarizing. When I saw Lexus TX, I didn't know how I felt about the spindle grille. It's so signature Lexus. I love the way it looks on this car with this trim level. It's bold, and it just works. You have that beautiful LED light bar that goes all the way across, and it looks really good at night. I just think this is so bold. And I love the way it sets off the whole boxy exterior. You have a spoiler with a brake light, you have cameras all over, an exposed wiper, and look at this. Push this button, and you can pop and open this glass in case you just wanted to pop some items right in. You can do it here. Or if you have a dog and he likes to hang his head out, so many people love this feature. It was on the 4Runner, and then I think they took it away, and people went crazy. And I want to say they brought it back for 2025, but I haven't driven that yet. All right, One of the family-friendly features that I have a love-hate relationship with is a kick. So this has a kick to open, and it should have a kick to close. So you just swipe your foot, it's as easy as that, to get your liftgate open. This is very handy if your hands are full, or if you've got kids and one on the hip and you're throwing something back here. Now, since I said throw something back here, let's come in and look at this cargo since I've got you here. I brought my carry-on suitcase for reference. With the third row up, this is what your storage looks like. So these seats do recline a little bit. I'm going to try to move them forward a smidge without laying them all the way flat. This is what this looks like. Let's see if we have a kick to close, and we'll see if we can get this door to close. We should have a kick to close. I'm not going to mess around with it. We're just going to use this button. We'll see if the door will close with one carry-on suitcase. I think you can see that you can fit 2 or 3 back there, just depending on how you janged your pieces in there. If you don't want to mess with the kick, just hold this down and you can open up your lift gate this way. There are power buttons here, so you can fold the third row down. I do think you need to hold this down and actually, okay, it really beeps when these seats are not in the exact position, either up or down. So, got these folded flat, and you can see with the third row down, you have a ton of really good storage room. So here's my suitcase again, just for an example. And no good soccer mom or family vehicle is complete without additional items, because we like to travel with a bunch of crap. And no true family demo is complete without a bunch of crap for the soccer field. So I have my soccer chair, which is long and awkward. Have my backpack with all the soccer stuff needed. We still have good room back here. In the short time that I've had the GX 550, I have driven it to soccer 4 times. I've had a cooler back here, 4 of the soccer chairs back here. I could not do that unless the third row was down. If it were up, if I had extra passengers, that would not be possible. So just know that. Back here, as far as amenities go, we also have a traditional household plug. Oh God, I don't know what the hell that is, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And seatbelt tethers. Lexus does a beautiful job of having seatbelt tethers for the first and second rows to keep everything neat and tidy. And this is what that looks like. You just bring it in, clip this in here, and it keeps this folded away so it's just not in the way. If you're still with me, this is a good time to remind you to like, subscribe, or whatever we're doing. Here on YouTube, I was almost blinded there and I'm sweating. North Carolina just cannot get a hold of fall. We are stuck on Satan's front porch in summer. It's 81 degrees, but it feels like 90 in the sun. So what I'm gonna do is go inside where I think the magic is happening, or is it? Let's go check it out. This is a 7-passenger vehicle, which means you have a bench in the second row. You can get optional captain's chairs. And the third row will always be 2-passenger. But since we're in the front, let's talk about this driver's seat. And let's turn the air on so that I don't swelter to death. Your driver's seat is power adjusted, and you have 3 memory setting positions with lumbar. They're also heated and ventilated, and you control that up here. This passenger seat's also heated and ventilated. The second row is heated and the third row is not. It's just power adjusted. And this seating material in this trim level is synthetic. It's called Nulux, and it is a leatherette. In higher trim levels, you will get leather. In front of the driver, you have a 12.3-inch digital display, which is customizable. You have a head-up display, which is also adjustable and customizable. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second, because you do it on this 14-inch touchscreen Lexus interface. You have wireless connectivity, so you don't need a cord to get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. 2 USB-C charging ports, and a really interesting little cover here for the 12-volt plug. A lot of people really love wood grain, and they love that about the older generation GX, and we still have wood grain here. You're going to find it here and on the sides of your doors, and that may be it for the wood grain. This is a four-wheel drive vehicle, and this is how you control your four-wheel drive. You have 4 high, and you would push it to go into 4 low, and you can lock or unlock your rear differential with this button. You have 3 drive modes to choose from, and you do that from this mode selector knob. You have sport when you want to kick it up a notch. That's a great time to use your paddle shifters. You're going to have less MPG and better performance. You have normal, which would be your everyday around town driving, and you have eco. And eco is going to give you your best MPG, but it will pull back your performance just a little bit to give you that good MPG. I teased you and told you about this head-up display and how to adjust it, and you're going to do that here on this screen. Vehicle customize, head-up display, and then you can control your brightness. You can display full, standard, or minimal. I like a full. And you can move it depending on your line of sight. So I'm 5'7", but I like to sit up tall. I always adjust my seat, so I'm sitting up tall and I'm like on the steering wheel, and I get made fun of that I look like a grandma. I don't really care. I like to be safe. But when I got in here, I didn't even know there was a head-up display because the way it was positioned, it wasn't in my line of sight. It just wasn't. So that's how I found these controls, and I moved it more up or down or whatever I needed to do. And you can also tweak it that way. Just a little tip, if you buy a Lexus GX 550 and need to adjust your head-up display, that's how you do it. You have the option of getting a digital key. That does require a remote connection subscription if you buy one, and I think it has a 3-year trial if you're a new buyer. You have a 10-speaker premium Lexus sound system in the Premium Plus trim level, but on higher trim levels you'll get a 21-speaker Mark Levinson sound system. But this one still sounds really good to me. You can add, or in higher trim levels, you'll get a camera in your rearview mirror. This one does not have it. You can control your door lights here, your dome lights here. And you can open and close your sunroof with these buttons. This is a normal moonroof in this trim level. Higher trim levels, you can have a pano roof that will cover more of the second row. Before I go into the second row, I just want to show you some of the things I love about the front seat area. I love how all of this, I usually don't mention these seating materials, but notice this. This is where my knee would naturally bump into when I'm getting in and out of the car when the door closes. I can't tell you how many times, do you see these scars on my knees from speakers or metal ripping the top of my kneecap off? I'm looking at you, Hyundai and Genesis. This is padded, and I really, really appreciate that. You also have mixed materials here, your vents here, you have vents here and here, and a convenient little storage tray here where you could put keys, phone, snacks, granola bars, whatever. Your glove box is normal. You do have that tray, which I haven't seen in many cars, so that you could put, you know, things on the top or underneath, and it does lock. You have more of that padding and soft material here for your knees. You have an electronic parking brake, your auto hold button, which I call the fast food button, so you don't have to go gas brake, and all of that. And 2 cup or bottle holders that are squared off. Close that up. You could lay your phone here, or I have actually used this as a cell phone holder as well. Your wireless charging pad is here, and shout out to Lexus. It's been flawless. You don't have to jiggle with it, and you don't have to take your cover off, and it charges beautifully. Under here, you have storage that's pretty normal, but in higher trim levels, this is a cooler box, which will come in so handy. Tailgate time, breastfeeding mothers, milk, bottles, kids snacks, squirty yogurts. A cooler box is so handy and functional and made for families. I haven't seen it in person, but I hear the new Sienna for 2025 is going to have a cooler box back here. So with that, I think you've seen most of the important things in the front row. Let's go check out the second row. One of the things I want you to notice about the door on the GX 550 is it doesn't open to a 90. A lot of times when you're putting kids in car seats, yes, you think they can open the door, kids, and fling it into somebody else's door. But this angle, some actually will come further to 90. and it just makes accessing the inside of the vehicle easier. So I would love to see that. We're also missing some sunshades. I would expect they would come in higher levels, but I don't know that for certain. In the second row, I have pretty good leg room. I will mention these seats are a little bit firm, which some people may like for longer trips and some people may find a little bit uncomfortable. They do sit very upright, but there is a handle on the side that flips these seats down. So you do have the ability to adjust, but the natural setting is this, which I didn't know my kids were riding straight up. On the first day I had them in here, they didn't like that. So I recline them, but that does affect the space in the third row, of course. You have 2 sets of lower latches, and it is covered by this pretty Nulux material that just keeps it tidied away. An armrest with 2 cup holders, 3 head restraints for your backseat passengers. On this bench, at the stage of life I'm in, I prefer captain's chairs. A lot of people who are gonna have kids in car seats would want a bench, total personal preference. You should know. Your vents are up top. You can control your climate from here. Your vents are up top. I have good leg room in the second row. These seats are not on rails, so this bench is stationary. So this is the amount of leg room you have when this is set for a driver or a rider who's probably 5'8" to 5'10". You can control your climate from back here. These people in the back have heated seats, and you have a place to charge with 2 USB-C charging ports. And that is about all she wrote for the second row. You really need to see how the second row collapses so that you can get into the third row. I'm going to bring you with me to bring up the third row. And you can do it with these buttons. And it's going to beep at you if you unfinish your business because of safety. So here is what we're going to do. You're going to have to listen to it beep just like me, safety feature. We're going to pull this handle, and this thing is going to hop out of our way. And then we're going to use these buttons to bring up the third row. And this is pretty unique. Check that out. The whole thing just unfolds. Of course, you'll need to put your headrests up, but that's what it looks back there. So obviously, if you have kids in car seats, you cannot do this. I had my almost 10-year-old son practice this last night for a short video for TikTok and Instagram, and it was a struggle. I had to talk him to it a couple times, and then once he got in the third row pulling the seat back, he kept wanting to pull on this, and that's what collapses it, and so that just wasn't the thing. And then the natural resting spot I can show you is there. Now I will say, for your car seat install, you could install a car seat here on the 60% and leave the 40 to always be collapsed to get into the third row so that you're not bothering the people in car seats to do that. So now I'm going to show you what it's like in the third row of the Lexus GX. A little bit tricky showing the third row with the bench seat and this whole setup. So I'm going in this way gracefully, I hope. Okay, so I'm in. I'm going to pull this seat down. I hope you can see this. This is what it looks like all the way up. I have this much exactly room between my knee and the back of the seat, but we already reviewed that that's not that comfortable. So most people would want to have it a little bit reclined. My knees are still not touching the seat. I like the fact this is 2-person third row, so we're not going to try to squeeze a butt in the middle, and we can't because there's no seat here in the middle. Just going to bring you in so you can see what this looks like from here. Not bad. Opening here so that we don't put a person here. You have 2 cup holders. You can recline these seats with this button, but I'm already reclined all the way back. You have a USB-C charging port on both sides and handles to help you get yourself into the third row. You have your vents up top on either side, just like the second row. And to exit the third row, you're going to do this. You're going to pull this latch. That's going to leap out of your way. And hopefully somebody's going to open your door for you. But if it's carpool for my kids, they have to manage it themselves, which can be a lot. So what do you think so far of the Lexus GX 550? Do you think this is a good family vehicle? Let me know in the comments. One of the cool things about this backup camera is this see-through view. So see how the car disappears? I am parked on the street right now waiting for my neighbor to come out, but see this? It enables you to see what's under your vehicle and what's around it. So what do you think of the 2024 Lexus GX? I hope you enjoyed this quick tour. If this brand of chaos works for you, you can find me all over social media. I'm on TikTok and Instagram and at realmomcartours.com. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you would like to see me review next.